So the other day, I was watching a video from Linus Tech Tips, like, any other degenerate, and the video transitioned over to a sponsored segment. Sponsor for the video was a game called Enlisted, and I immediately thought, wait, I remember playing this game when it first came out. I had played Enlisted for maybe about an hour and decided that it was just not worth playing. So for the very first episode of Runner Reviews, I had decided to review Enlisted and to give the internet my extremely biased rating from 1 to 10. My name is runnerman15, and let's get started. Enlisted is a free-to-play World War II FPS shooter, first released in 2021. It is developed by Darkflow Software, who are the developers of Cuisine Royale, which is now known as Cursed FOAD. Enlisted is playable on most modern-day gaming platforms, PS4, PS5, Xbox, PC. And today we'll be looking at the PC version. This review will be broken down into multiple parts. This way I can average the score given for each category to give a more accurate final score. Let's get started with the first category. So for the graphics, I'm running this game on Windows 11 using an Intel Core i5 11600KF processor with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060. On max settings, I was able to run the game at around 127 to 144 FPS. The graphics are decent, and you do not need a super high powered rig to run the game. Overall, I'd give the graphics an 8 out of 10. Very good for a free-to-play game. Enlisted features a unique squad system where every one of your soldiers in each of your squads are customizable. This way, if you were to die, you can take control of one of your other squad members to continue playing on. With this comes numerous ways to upgrade and customize your squads. This can feel very tedious, however if you start to get more familiar with the game, the squad and upgrade system will start to make more sense. This doesn't mean that it is hard to get into the game as a new player, it just means that you will learn a lot as you start to play the game more and more. When it comes to actual gameplay, the game is a mix between war sim games like Red Orchestra and more casual war games like Battlefield 1 and 5. I like this as the combat, while feeling somewhat realistic, is also a little arcadey in my opinion, which allows for both casual FPS enjoyers and war sim enjoyers to enjoy playing the game. I give the gameplay an 8.5 out of 10 as I actually enjoyed playing this game for the little while that I played it. The audio in this game takes a big part in adding to the overall experience. While it may not sound like all hell is breaking loose, this game emulates the audio of a battle pretty well. The audio also helps to provide very important cues that can let you know if you're getting shot at or if an explosion goes off nearby. I personally didn't notice any footstep sounds while playing due to the large amount of gunfire and explosions going on around me. This means that footstep audio is not that important in a setting like this. The audio for the actual guns used in the game felt authentic as well. Overall, I give the audio a score of 7.8 out of 10. Whilst being a little basic, the audio still provides important information to the player. Like I said before, I believe that Enlisted can be played by a wide range of players, from casual FPS players to war sim players. For overall age range, this game feels suitable for teenagers in their late teens such as 15 to 16, young adults in their 20s, and even people in their late 40s. Overall, I give the audience rating a 6.8 out of 10. While not for everyone, Enlisted can still appeal to multiple categories of gamers. As said before, you do not need a super expensive setup to play Enlisted. The official minimal specs for the game are as follows. You need at least Windows 8 through 10, an Intel Core i3 or better, at least 8 gigs of RAM, and an NVIDIA GeForce 660 card or its AMD equivalent or better. You need at least 10 gigs for storage. As you can see, Enlisted should be able to run on a large range of computers. Enlisted can also be played on both Xbox Series X and One, PS4, and PS5. The game is also cross-platform, which makes it easy to play with your console friends and vice versa. I give the system requirements a rating of 8.8 out of 10. While not only being pretty easy to run, you can also play Enlisted on the most popular gaming consoles. As said before, the game is not hard to get into. How well you do in-game is all determined on your raw aiming skills and your ability to strategize in battle. While that might sound difficult for some, as long as you've played a larger scaled FPS game before such as Battlefield, you should do fine. There are also in-game tutorials to run you through the basics on how to play the game. Before I mentioned that every soldier in your squad is customizable. This means that your whole squad will be playing in the game, and this also means that there are bots that fit the roles of your fellow squad mates. Now I know that not everyone likes bots, there are still a large amount of real players per match. The addition of bots also helps to make each match feel a lot more populated. This means that you can play whole games by yourself if you choose. I give the difficulty a rating of 7.5 out of 10. This game is not very difficult for people who have played FPS games before. I also mentioned before that there are a lot of customization in Enlisted, including squad leveling. This means that there is quite a bit of grind in-game. There is not only a soldier squad leveling system, but also personal tech trees, weapon tech trees, and a weapon leveling system. Thing is, there's also a loot mechanic to the game. While I didn't really see anything super pay to win, as the game isn't really that competitive, there is still luck-based equipment. This means that you can also just pay your way to better loot instead of grinding for it. Finally, there is a campaign in the game, however it is not a story mode. It is a player leveling system that grants rewards. I give the grind rating a 6.8 out of 10. While there is quite a few things to grind for, there is still that incentive towards in-game purchases. So for our story category, since there isn't a story in this game, I won't be counting this category towards it. Since Enlisted is an MMO game, Enlisted has infinite playtime, or at least until people stop playing the game. Even then, there are still bots that can be used in place of players, so until Gaijin shuts Enlisted down, you can play for as long as you want. In terms of game time, your matches can last from 20 to 45 minutes. Very long matches that are very common with other games in the same genre. I give the game rating a 7.9 out of 10. But you can pretty much play the game forever, matches can last a long time and contribute to boredom. A side note, I think this is why I feel that war sim games are just not that popular. Games like Call of Duty generally have a pretty short match time that appeal to a wider audience due to the lowered average attention span of players. As mentioned above, the game is free. This means that it literally costs nothing to download the game and load into a match. This said, there definitely is a free feel to the game. The game just has this feeling of a free-to-play MMO, which is exactly what it is. It doesn't have as much polish as its paid counterparts, and this somewhat takes away from the overall experience. I give the price a 9 out of 10. Free, but it feels free. This is our final category, and bugs can make or break a game. With Enlisted, I didn't really experience any bugs while playing, and I gave the game about 2 hours of overall game time. Now, in my experience, really the only buggy thing could have been mantling, but even then, it wasn't even that bad, and to be honest, I really didn't experience very many bugs, so I'm going to give the bug rating a 10 out of 10, which is pretty good for a free-to-play MMO game. So in conclusion, the overall score for Enlisted is an 8.1 out of 10. A very decent World War II, somewhat Milsim that looks and plays good for being free. I highly recommend to at least try the game out for a little bit to get your own opinion. And if you've already played Enlisted for a while and disagree with my score, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Just please try to keep the comment section civil. If you guys have any ideas for games I should review next, leave those in the comments below as well. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and if you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button. This is RunnerMan15, and I will see you guys later.